favorites. Again, I'm new to YouTube and new to making a monthly favorites video, so bear with me as I struggle to figure out how to just hitting a stride with YouTubing on a regular basis. So for this first video, I've got 6 items. They kind of all over. Some are mommy favorites, some are just kind of household favorites. So let's jump right in and get started. This past weekend we had the stomach flu. Very just graphic, exorcist level stomach flu. 3 out of the 4 family members were sick, and you know, once that's all over and done with, you are stuck with having to clean your whole house and disinfect and get the smell out of your carpet and out of my son's bed and just all these different places that needed to be sanitized and cleaned and deodorized. And one of the ways that we deodorized, we use Young Living essential oils, and their Purification oil. I diffused it in the rooms that were affected, and it did a really good job of deodorizing and just kind of taking care of that funky smell that is left over after people have been sick in the house. So I definitely recommend it. It has citronella, rosemary, lemongrass, tea tree, lavender, which is like a cousin of lavender, and myrtle in it. And it smells great. You definitely smell the citronella the strongest, and it's got a great smell. I cannot speak highly enough about Purification. I do think this is one of the oils that you get in the premium starter kit, but it's definitely worth asking somebody that knows about, or that is a seller of Young Living oils, to give you a sample if you haven't ever smelled it. I don't know what the doTERRA equivalent is. I will say this much: I have a friend that I met at MOPS who was a chemistry or a biochemistry major, and she recommended Young Living over doTERRA herself, and because of her background, I just kind of went with Young Living first. So, but if you know what the equivalent in doTERRA is, comment below and let us know how you like it. But I personally am super happy with this essential oil. The next thing that I used, which is too large to bring into my dining room, is a carpet washer. So my next favorite is my BISSELL. Many moons ago, before I met my husband, before marriage and kids and all this fun stuff, I lived in a studio apartment, and at the time I was making like $21,000 a year. I had just graduated from my bachelor's level program, and was working for a women's shelter as a case manager, and I was living in the studio apartment, you know, kind of the first time I was living on my own, and I had spilled mango juice like all over the main living area that was carpeted. And I panicked, and I didn't want to rent one of those disgusting kind of, who knows who's used them, machines from like Ralph's, which is like Kroger out in Los Angeles. And I didn't have the money to really buy anything nice, but I thought, well, I'm pretty ditzy. This is probably not the last time I'm going to need a carpet washer. So I went out to Target and purchased like the basic model. And by basic, I mean this BISSELL doesn't have its own heating element. It doesn't have brushes that spin. It's a static bar. And it doesn't have an attachment to clean upholstery. It's strictly like a plain Jane base model carpet washer. You know, it kind of looks like a vacuum. The tank isn't large. I lived in a studio, so I didn't need a large carpet washer. And I've just had it all these years. It did a great job of cleaning the mango juice all those years ago, and I've just held on to it because it works so great. But I never had the stomach flu until recently. And I pulled it out to disinfect and clean all the areas where my son specifically had thrown up on the carpet in his room and in the living room. Now, I have a 1-year-old daughter who is still crawling, and it was of the utmost importance that the carpet be disinfected, because I don't want to know what a 1-year-old with the stomach bug is like. It was scary enough to see my 2.5-year-old go through the stomach flu. So I used it, and I gotta say, I am so pleased with the results. Even with all the strikes against it being the base model, this brush is not spinning, it did a phenomenal job of cleaning up. I use the BISSELL brand of detergent that goes into the cleaner. I think it was the pet odor eliminator detergent, because we have dogs and cats, and so that just seemed to make the most sense to me. And it takes forever to go through the solution. You use like this much of it at a time, and so yeah, I can't say enough. I look forward to someday upgrading my BISSELL, because it just they work really well. And it's an old model, so it's probably been discontinued. So I'll link below on Amazon if they still sell it. But really, I think if you go with any BISSELL brand of carpet washer, if you have carpet, you're probably in good hands, because they have so many bells and whistles now that they come with. It is absolutely worth checking them out. Looking at my notes, my next favorite is unrelated to us having stomach flu. I'm sure you're glad to be done with that topic. Is our French press. Let me grab it real quick. We have gone through several French presses, and normally they're glass. They are glass, and they kind of sit, the glass comes off, and it kind of sits in like a metal frame of some kind. And what was happening is that the French presses kept chipping in the dishwasher, because it's like really thin glass. And the coffee would also cool off really fast as it was steeping, because the glass isn't insulated. And so my husband found this, it's from SterlingPro. He found it on Amazon, and it's insulated. It's stainless steel, so it's a little more hygienic, because microbes don't grow as much on stainless steel. They don't grow at all, I think. So we just love it because it's sturdy, and this thing is not going to fall apart in the dishwasher. It's insulated. I don't believe you're supposed to wash things in the dishwasher that are insulated, but because it's stainless steel, I don't worry about it. And it makes great coffee. And so if you're having the same problem I have with the French press, and I know you can hand wash your glass French presses, but I run the dishwasher so much that sometimes it's just convenient to chuck it in there and go from there. And especially with having 2 kids, 2 and under, it's just easier than hand washing. And we use it every day. My husband, specifically my husband, for him, drinking coffee is a religious experience. He looks forward to it every day. He often brews more than 1 cup a day. And so we really needed something that was up for daily use, wear and tear. And this SterlingPro has just kind of lived up to the reviews that we saw on Amazon. And I will say, since we got this, my husband has actually been brewing more at home instead of purchasing coffee at Starbucks so much. So I'm so glad that he found this. It's definitely been a favorite this month. Then our next favorite is a kind of a happy find from the library. I take my son to the library pretty much every week. There are some weeks that maybe due to illness or something we won't go, but the library has such great programming for our kids 0 to 4, and my son loves to have books read to him. And I picked this book out. It's called Ladder to the Moon by Maya Soetoro, and I don't know how to say NG in. I'm going to butcher your name, so I apologize. And it's illustrated by Yuri Morales. Maya, based on the notes on the back of the book, is of Indonesian ancestry, and Yuri Morales is of Mexican ancestry. And I didn't know any of that when I picked this book. I actually picked this book out because my son loves the moon, and there was this beautiful depiction of the moon on the back, and the name of the book is Letter to the Moon, and there were people of color on the cover, and that was actually really important to me because I just want some diversity in the books that I read to him, and so I picked it, even though I think this is about third grade reading level. It's quite lengthy for a 2.5-year-old sit through, but he has sat through this book twice now, and because of the moon, he loves the pictures on the moon. But the story is such a sophisticated, beautiful story. First I thought, when based on the people on the cover, I thought that maybe it had some Buddhist inclinations or backgrounds, but her being from Indonesia, and one of the pictures in here kind of looks like maybe she's Muslim. I'm not sure, but let me just give you some excerpts and a little background on the story. They don't explicitly tell you this, but it's kind of implied that the little girl's grandmother has passed away, and the little girl goes to sleep, and the grandmother pulls her up to the moon with her. The grandmother's up in the moon, and they go on this little adventure in the story, and the grandmother imparts a lot of wisdom on her. And one of the literary devices that they use is the senses. The little girl's name is Suhaila, and one of the things that they repeat is, Suhaila tasted such and such, and then she knew more than she knew before, and Suhaila saw such and such, and then she knew more than she knew before. And the way that literary device, if you know what that's called, please comment below, is done so beautifully in this book, in a way that is really easy to understand. This is very much a living book. It's not necessarily about grief, but it has some of that kind of message undertone. As a Catholic, I can say that Catholics do believe that our dead who are up in heaven can pray for us here, can pray for the living. And I think that's so beautiful. I think the idea that my grandparents up in heaven, if I ask them to pray for me, can pray for me up in heaven. This isn't a Christian book by any means, and it doesn't specifically mention any one culture or any one denomination, but it just has a message of compassion and understanding for struggles going on in the world. And let me read you this quick excerpt. Here's the ladder that brings people up to the moon, where the grandmother is with the little girl, Suhaila. And the passage reads, "Looking past the golden ladder, she being Suhaila, spotted people whose hands pointed upward from a synagogue, a temple, a mosque, and a steepled church. One by one, every person was finding his or her own path to the moon, each path connecting with the others in hope's massive stream." And you see kind of the diversity of the people down on earth praying. And then later on in the book, another beautiful passage. Together those of us left on earth would plant seeds in soft soil. Grandma Annie would send tides to nourish them and weave a net of love around us all. And earlier, that's just the beautiful language in this book. I guess, again, this book is beyond my son's reading level, and he doesn't understand, like 80% of the story because of the way the language is quite dense. So it needs to be, if your child's reading this on their own, at least third grade level, so that they have the vocabulary and the capacity to sound out some of the bigger words. But it's a beautiful written story. I cannot recommend this enough. We will be checking this book out again because one of the things that happens in this story is that they go on this adventure where they see victims of a tsunami and victims of warfare, even though they don't necessarily explicitly say it's victims of warfare, or that the children died, or that the grandmother died, or it's a really gentle message of compassion and understanding of diversity without kind of beating you over the head. It focuses on the beauty of understanding rather than shaking their finger at you. So I just appreciated this book so much. Cannot recommend this enough. And again, the author's name is Maya, and I'll spell out her name, SOETORO-NG, and the name of the book is Ladder to the Moon. Forgive me, I dropped my notes. My next favorite is these Brain Quest cards. My son has a speech delay. He is 2.5 and isn't speaking really, he babbles, but he doesn't speak in full sentences yet. And he has been going to speech therapy for 7 or 8 months now, pretty much as long as he has been doing the Bob Jones K3 curriculum with me. I've recently picked these up, and they have been total game changers. And I have fond memories of playing with these decks growing up as a child, like in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. They have them kind of in different subjects. These are for ages 2 to 3, and I did not know they made for ages 2 to 3, but they do now, I guess. Ages 2 to 3, and it says 350 questions to build your toddler's word skills. And there's a deck 1 and a deck 2, and it has instructions for how to use these decks. And these have been so fun to just kind of snoodle up on the couch and kind of go through these a card or two at a time, and see if I can get him to practice using his very limited vocabulary, and getting him to practice sounding things out. They're great for road trips if you get the age appropriate deck for your child. They're great for road trips. They're great for like if you have to take your child with you and you're waiting in line, because they're so easy to throw in your purse and use then. I wouldn't put these in a restaurant kit or something like that unless your child is older, because these are sturdy, but not so sturdy that they would survive something like that. Yeah, they're great. I even like the way that they are riveted. It's not a 3-ring. It's not a ring binding. It's like a push button thing holding them together, which makes them really compact, and it comes with its own little carrying bag. They're great. Check them out. It's Brain Quest. I'm sure you've seen their workbooks. I think their biggest selling product is workbooks. Some of you may even use that as curriculum. So check them out. I picked mine up at Books A Million, so I'm sure Barnes and Noble and other retailers like that probably carry these. My last favorite is a household item. I have been looking for an all-natural shampoo to use for a long time. Since I cut my hair short, I don't feel like I need to use conditioner, because I prefer to shower in the morning as part of my getting ready in the morning routine. I don't like to shower at night, every night anyway. My hair is so short, so I shower and then I immediately do my hair and put product in my hair. I was using hairspray, now I use hair gel, and I kind of thought, well, I don't really need conditioner because my hair literally gets washed and then I put more product in my hair. I found this shampoo, and this has been so great. And it's got shea butter in it, so it's almost pretty conditioning all on its own. They do sell conditioner that also is this large and comes with a pump, but I don't purchase it. I think it's a great price. I think this was $8, and it is 32 fluid ounces. I mean, there are some conventional shampoos that aren't this affordable. So for it being an all-natural product, for it to be this price for this many fluid ounces, I thought, well, that is a bargain. I picked this up at Kroger here locally, and the product is biodegradable, it is paraben-free, it is vegan, and it is free of synthetic fragrance. It is gluten-free for those of you who have extreme sensitivities to gluten. And it is a fair trade product, which is also important to me that it be fair trade. We try to buy for fair trade wherever possible. It's from a company called Alaffia, Alaffia, and their website is alaffia.com if you want to know more about their mission and their products. They seem to be tied to a charity, and if you want to know more about their fair trade practices, I assume it's fair trade for the shea butter. I'm not sure. It says moisturizing for all hair types, and I really, my hair feels clean. My hair is soft. If I don't use product that day, my hair is manageable and soft, and like I said, I don't feel like I need to use conditioner because this product is just so, it works well. So give them a try. I went with the vanilla mint scent because it was on sale. It was like $1 or $2 cheaper than the lavender scent. I don't know why. Maybe Kroger just couldn't sell it. So it was on sale for the, so like I said, give them a try. It's a great product. And I even love that the bottle is on a pump. Yeah, it's great. So that's it. That's my 6 favorite items for the month of March. And I'll post another favorites video in April. Give this video a thumbs up if you are liked any of the products that I suggested and recommended, and please remember to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. Thanks.